Hello, Renee Flamont here. To get yourself going away from the narcissist, to break away from the narcissist, takes a lot of work, takes a lot of hard work. I think we can all agree, whether you've left or not, you know how hard it is. And I think sometimes when people don't embark on the journey of doing the work, it's not that they don't want to. It's not that they don't want to. I think we all would love to be able to figure out why we're there and if we can leave and what's the healthiest way to deal and all that. I think some people just think that they can't. And so they surrender before they even try. They look at the situation and they think, these wounds go back to my childhood, that I would even pick this person. Maybe they know that much. You know what I mean? And they're like, I'm stuck here. I can't unravel this. This is too much. Minnie, stop eating your foot. What I'd like to explain to you, and I'll share with you a little bit about what happened to me with my family, and tell you that if I can work through breaking some patterns, anyone can. In my family, and I've made reference to it before, and I won't go into any detail at this time because it's probably not really relevant, but they're definitely, and as with any family, on one particular side of my family, there's an entire string of dysfunction, okay? An entire string of dysfunction. And it's a tempestuous kind of gene that exists there, where there can be flare-ups and tempers and grudge holding and yelling and screaming and just a whole bunch of that kind of drama. Okay. So I started to think back of like family members from past, maybe they've passed on already and whatever. And I just started to think, in those days, there were no words like bipolar, OCD, autistic, spectrum, Asperger's. None of these words even existed when I was little. Now, before you Google those in some medical thing, oh yeah, it came out in 19... I'm saying in common life, because I didn't look them all up or determine when those words came into play. But in life, the person would be seen, other than those medical words, the person would be seen as fastidious or difficult or cold or angry, but maybe they were impaired. I started to look at this. Years ago, I started to look at this. Maybe they were impaired. And maybe they didn't know, and neither did we. So we go along, and these family members are undiagnosed, and the old timers many times did go undiagnosed. And like I said, they're looked at in a negative light. Okay, fine. So I started to wonder about genetics, and I worried, especially when I became a mom. This is when it really hit me to start to do the work. And this is what I'm talking about now. I was heading there if I hadn't done so much work. I saw things in my family and I thought, I'm not going to be that kind of, I saw the different patterns in mathematical relationships, whether we're talking about being a sister to someone, an aunt to someone, a mother to someone, a daughter to someone. And I thought, I'm not going to be that, or that. I like that. I'm keeping that, blah, 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 blah. But it's not that easy, right? It's not a pay-per-drink kind of life. You have to do the work if you don't want. You can't just pick and choose. I want this, I want that. No. So I knew I had a lot of work ahead of me. But as a mother, I also knew I'm not going to be this way with my child. And I did break the pattern. 1,000% broke the pattern. I never yell at my child. We just didn't have that kind of relationship. So I'm not saying I have never in my whole life of her 21 years, but as a pattern, I probably raised my voice to her under 5 times in 21 years because I chose a different path and I talked to her rather than, okay, fine. The point is, if you do the work, and it was a lot of work, okay? There's journaling, there's dissection, there is, I can still, if I'm triggered, I'm sure, have a temper like no one's business. I know that I can because I did it with my narcissist. But what I've noticed now is I know my triggers. I have fewer ones than I did. I've learned how to handle them. Ways to counter it when I feel it coming. If I do blow, it's because I've chosen to do so and somebody got me angry. That's how I feel. Although my narcissist did get me to points that I felt like I was going to explode and I couldn't control it. So I did definitely learn that I had more work to do in that regard. The point that I'm making with this narcissism business, from which we slightly deviated just now today, I think it's a place and time for all of us to do some work on ourselves. I know I am, daily. I'm after the peace, the quiet, the truth, the why. Why did I pick this person? Why did I pick this kind of person before? Why did I stay? Why did I put up? Why? I need those answers. So right now I'm working through a lot of personal work that will help me with those answers. If you are in a place where you're starting to feel a little bit hopeless and you're thinking, I can't get out of this, I'm stuck here, how can I even begin to look at why I landed here or stayed this long, or how I would even begin to think about leaving, or any of those things, and if you feel overwhelmed, I am here to tell you, my genetic concerns were overwhelming. They were overwhelming. But I worked through them. And I have since even taught and healed with some family members and what I've learned, and we've all progressed together, and there's been an evolution that's been nice, and we've moved through some things together, and I just want to, the reason that I mention that is because that was nearly an impossible demon to shed, chain to break. It was nearly impossible. Because when you have family stuff that comes generation after generation after generation, you really have to be committed if you want to break that chain with your own child, or in your own family, or how you're going to be as a sister, or an auntie, or a cousin, or a friend, or a daughter. You know what I mean? There's a lot of work to do, because the natural comfortable path is to stay with what you know, which is where we all are with the narcissist. You're right now where you know, and the comfort level of what you know can be exactly that. It's like an old shoe. It feels comfortable. You don't want to change it. You don't want to get uncomfortable, which the work is extremely uncomfortable. It can be alienating, because now you're going to be acting different, and people will challenge you and say, wait, what are you doing? Why are you, including your narcissist? You want to shock him? Start to get some work where you can break the chains of your own behavior and find out why you answered the way you did yesterday, or why you put up with something again last week that you've told them 52 times from Sunday. Why did you do that? I just wanted peace. That's 100% true, I'm sure, but there's more to it. There's more to it. And when I started to dissect with the narcissist business, I thought, well, if I can break the chains in my family and how I'm going to be as a human being, then what? And my family's wonderful, by the way. I'm saying these were their faults. I'm not trying to say my family's, I didn't mean to make it all sound negative. I'm saying I took this one angle that I didn't like, and I decided, no, I'm not gonna maintain that angle and bring it with me forward in my life. I'm not going to. And that was 20 years ago, and it's taken a lot of work to do that. But what it occurred to me was, this wasn't the first narcissist that I picked. So I started to look at it like, okay, I can break another chain of pattern of my behavior. I know that I can. I did it. So, in your own life, is there something that you should dissect? I venture to challenge you. It can hurt and it's hard, but you have to sometimes face truths about yourself that you don't want to know. Because some of the fault, I don't like using that word because I don't like to think anything is the victim's fault. If you're a partner right now. But some of what's happening may be related to things that you experienced in your life as a child and things that you carry forward in your life that you don't even realize. And once we uncover our own dysfunctions and we admit to ourselves that we're a certain way and take steps to fix it, it becomes really liberating. Like I had to learn right now, and I'm still learning it. It's not that I did learn it. I'm always learning. But my whole, like, I want to fix somebody, I'm codependent, I'm an empath, all of those things, working through what those mean and how they manifest themselves in real life was eye-opening to me. And they're dysfunctions, by the way. They're not compliments. People get confused. Oh, an empath. It's not like a superpower. It means that you see people for who they are, yet you choose to go forward anyway. Because empaths, we see the truth of people. We just do. And people tell us things because they sense that we're going to listen. So then you get the truth of people. That's why with a narcissist it's so darn difficult for an empath, because you're looking at it and it doesn't compute. You see it, you see what's happening, it just doesn't compute. And you're waiting for it to compute. It's like I was waiting for it to all click together and fit. But it was always like this. It didn't compute. So I had to do a lot of work in trying to figure out, okay, why do I keep picking this person? Why do I stay with this person? Okay? So if you're in a situation where you're looking at it and thinking, I think there is some work for me to do here. Start on the journey. It will lead you to nowhere other than somewhere good, because education is empowerment. And if you are confused as to, wait, why am I here even? You can break the chains of your past behavior. You absolutely 1000% can. You can break the chains of something that happened in your childhood. Maybe the narcissists can't, we've learned. But I think healthy, normal, functioning people who want to change can and will, if they put in the work. There's a lot of work involved. It's not easy dissecting things about yourself and seeing things about yourself and realizing what may need fixing in your own life, what may need attention in your own life, what may need help in your own life. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Or go talk to somebody and figure these things out. Because it's only then, with the education of why we're doing things and why we're allowing things to happen, that we can go forward and prevent them from happening anymore, or again, or continuing, or what have you. So I wanted to share that with you. If I can break the chains of the behavior that I always witnessed growing up, then anybody can break any chain. Because that was heavy, that's strong, that's a gene in my family. I see it as clear as day. And on the other side of my family is another gene that I see that I broke through also. So there's work always to be done, and if you want to escape or at least get in line some order and sense to what's happening in your life, I challenge you to do some work on yourself. Dissect some things. Start with the simplest thing. Why am I here? Why did I put up with what happened yesterday? Ask yourself. And it may be enlightening, and you may say, oh my God, is that why? Well, that's easy enough to fix. It's just a thought. I just thought I'd share it with you because I want you to break chains if they're keeping you somewhere where it's not healthy for you to be. And I think that you can break chains if it's keeping you somewhere where it's not healthy to be, if you just are willing to do the work. It's always about the work, and it starts with you. Man in the Mirror, Michael Jackson's song. For those young people that don't know it, Man in the mirror. You want to change things, you have to change yourself first. You do. You have to look in that mirror and write things down and say, oh my God, is that true? Is this my personality? There were things about myself I uncovered that I didn't like. But how would I have changed them if I hadn't uncovered them? It hurts when you uncover, ooh, did I do that? Did I say that? Did I act that way? Okay, well, we know better, we do better. But we can't know better unless we discover it. So go ahead and dissect yourself and break those chains. And maybe you can find a different way to handle your narcissist, or maybe you'll even come to the point that you'll have the courage to leave your narcissist. I want you to give that some thought and save yourself from yourself. Okay, chin up.